The things that you learn. So this course is divided into 3 phases. The first 5 weeks, we're going to talk about algorithms. The second part, about 3 weeks, we're going to talk about data structures. So we talk about how to organize data to solve your problems more efficiently. And finally, we're going to talk about why some problems are so difficult to solve that we need to find some ways to even approximate it. And this is more or less the course outline. Now, week to week. So today, later, we're going to do counting. Next week is going to be dedicated to picking up Python. Now, for the IS students, if you have done Python, just take it as a refreshment, or you can use the time to, deepen your Python skills, or even pick up on the counting. All right. Now, week 3, I'm going to come back and do the complexity. 4 and 5, we're going to look at several algorithms, some simple algorithms to study the properties and the characteristics of the algorithms in terms of how we can use them to solve other problems. Then we talk about data structures, and week 6 is stacks, queues, linear data structures, week 7, binary trees. Now, week 8 is a midterm break. There's going to be a lab test. So lab test is going to be a programming test. So it's individual, so you're going to be expected to solve a certain number of problems using Python. Week 9, we will talk about graphs. Outside of class, which is the evening of the Monday, there will be a midterm exam. So this is going to count towards your grade as well. And this is going to be the final part of the course. Week 10, 11, we are going to talk about the complex problems. Now, week 12, there is no lesson. We call it project week. But the project is due, so we take it that you're going to dedicate that week to basically finish up your project. And week 13, we do review, and week 16 is the final exam. Okay, I think your exam is going to be one of the later ones. So there are references. The first one, the first one is a textbook, but you don't actually need to buy it. We are not asking you to buy it. I think a lot of the content we're going to cover already on the slides. If you do the tutorials, you do your assignments, then I think you should be fine. Now, but the other 2 are actually given to you on e-learn. All right, so later when we talk about counting, I'm going to show you where you can find it. And data structures is something they will provide to you somewhere along, around week 5 or week 6 when we get to the data structures. Okay, assessment, this is the overview. There is continual assessments, 5%, midterm exam, 15, final exam, 40. So all these are so-called written exams. Now, then there is the coding part, which is a lab test and a project. The project is a group. There will be 2 or 3 people to a group. It will be pre-assigned, so you don't have to go looking for group mates. We will tell you who your group mates are. And the final 10% is for class participation. Now, the continuous assessment, essentially is a set of MCQs. But we're going to do this every week from week 3 onwards. So in total, we will do about 9 or 10 of this over the course of the term. And they will total up to 5%. Now, this is the regular structure of the class. So let's say today, we're going to talk about counting. Okay. Now, usually what happens is that I'll give you a tutorial so that you will do the questions at home. Then the following week, we will discuss the questions in the tutorial for the first half of the class. Right after that, we will have a mini quiz. Right after. That means that you do this for 15 minutes, around 5 MCQ questions, and it's only going to count for 1/10 of a 5%, which means only 0.5%. The weight is not a lot. It's not there really as an assessment. It's really there as a checkpoint. We want to make sure that you are following the class because the class actually piles up. Week 1 to week 2. Week 2 needs week 1, week 3 needs week 2, and so on. If you ever get left behind, it's going to be pretty difficult to catch up over time. Okay? So we're going to do this every single week from week 3 onwards. Not week 2, week 3 onwards. Now, supposing that you don't do so well in a mini quiz, it probably could mean that for that week, that particular topic, you might not have mastered it yet. So then we will invite you to a supplementary class. And the supplementary class will be done the following Friday. So that means this Monday you do a mini quiz, you don't do so well, you'll be invited to our supplementary class, not the Friday of the same week, Friday of the following week. Okay? And it's always in the SOE SRB 1.2, every Friday 4 to 6 p.m. It will be run by the PhD TAs, of which Huang is one of them. Okay? This is going to be supplementary class to help you to get extra practices. So the midterm exam is going to be outside of class time. All right, so Monday, 14 October, this is week 9. 1.5 hours, and yours is G2, so we will all be doing it in the School of Law. It's going to be a closed book, but we will allow you one piece of A4 cheat sheet. So which means that you can put anything on the cheat sheet, right, as long as a single piece of A4 paper, double-sided. Okay, no requirement in terms of how small you can put it, as long as you have that much real estate. Final exam comes for 40%. It's going to be in December, 3 hours. It's going to be closed book again, but you still have the cheat sheet. Now, there is one requirement for you to pass the course, which means that you need to pass 50% overall over all the components. In addition, for the final exam, you need to score at least 45%. Raw score, without moderation. The reason why we put in this requirement is because in the past there had been an occasion where people could actually pass just because they were grouped with good people in the project. But we would like you to have at least some minimum competency. Now, what I would like to assure you is that since I have put in this condition, nobody has ever failed because of this. So that means that you shouldn't be the first. Okay? As long as you keep up with the course content and materials, I think it should be possible for you to score this. Lab test. Lab test is going to be a 2-hour test that will allow you to stay for up to 3 hours in case you need more time. This is going to be the Monday of the midterm break. It will be coordinated by mock. Project. Project is a group project. There is going to be a significant coding component. We will tell you the details, but there's going to be a certain kind of ranking over the leaderboard that's going to go across all 6 sections. Okay. Class part. Okay, class part you need to attend, because unless you attend, you can't participate, right? So attendance is taken into account. Classroom participation, you can ask relevant questions. You may be invited to answer complex questions in class. One of the things that you can volunteer for is something that we call show and tell. Now, show and tell is a chance for you to come to in front of the class and present to your classmates some application of an algorithm. So you can, 2 components, right? A real application and an algorithm. So then you're going to talk about both. This can be done individually as one person or as a group of 2. Now, usually we give you about 5-10 minutes to do so. You can use visual artifact. You can use a prop, you can use an object, you can use a demo, or you can show a video clip, but it cannot be the whole thing or the only thing. So that means you should be presenting, you should be explaining, and that prop is only there to augment your presentation rather than be the only thing you're presenting. Okay? We only accept 1 proposal each week, and the slots are going to run out very fast. Okay, so usually by the time that we go to the midterm, there's no more slots, so we encourage you to volunteer for this early. We have a slot open from next week onwards. Okay, so if you're ready, you can just do it right away. Now, this is going to be coordinated by Ambrose. So you just need to tell him what kind of show and tell you want to do, when you would like to do it. But he might need to schedule you early, but he may try to also put it to the right timing, because maybe you want to talk about some concepts that we'll cover only much later. Okay? So I encourage you to do this. This is going to earn you some real additional class participation points. These are just some examples of what we'll have done in the past. Online dating, gesture recognition, and so on. Okay, now at the end of every show and tell, we will run a survey. So you can indicate how well the presenters have, how good a job they have done, and then we will take this into account. At the end of the term, we're going to give a prize for 1 presentation. Now, Python competency, we encourage you to pick up Python as soon as possible. So next week we're going to do Python, but you can try even earlier than that. So we will give you class part points if you do the following things. So one is a complete online tutorial. So that is a link. Now if you do Python 3, it's only free for 7 days. So once you start, you need to finish it within 7 days. Okay, and we'd like you to do this before week 3. And you can show the evidence of this just by emailing Ambrose. the URL that shows, it will show up all the modules that you have completed, and you're expected to complete at least 6. Now, in addition, every week, Mock is going to issue lab exercise. So this is going to be small coding assignments that you need to solve and just submit it to a submission server, and that is going to be counted towards your class part points as well. Now, if you want to have consultations for programming, right, so then there is an open slot every Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. at the GSR 2.1. There is going to be someone there who is going to help you with any programming issues that you may be having. This is a standing arrangement. You can just come at that appointed time, right? Okay, content consultations, I think sometime around week 3 onwards, I will tell you what my open office hours are. You can come to my office. Otherwise, then you can also ask the TAs, or you can make an appointment, right? Okay, so that's essentially almost all of it. Now, we have Monday class and Thursday class in my group, but in effect, we actually have 6 classes in the week. If you really cannot make it for any one class, I would advise you try not to skip it. Instead, try to see whether you can attend a different session. Now, I'm not asking you to do this every week, right? So if you bid for this class, you should come to this class. But if for 1 week or 2 weeks you have something on, or you have a competition, you have something, you can request to attend a different class. All right? Okay, so that's it. Now, the last point is just about academic integrity. We want to stay clear of any issues, but I have to say that in the past, we have issued penalties to people who don't respect academic integrity, things like plagiarism, cheating, and so on. All right, so just steer clear about these things, and you should be fine.